Hello everyone, welcome back. We will be continuing with the national movement in Indochina yet again. Okay, since it is a very vast topic, so we will, it's taking a lot of time. Okay, but still, then I want all of you to, listen carefully to the explanation, to the remaining explanation. Okay, so today we'll be focusing on the new phase, okay, the communist movement and the Vietnamese nationalists. Okay, last class we saw about the influence on Japan and China on Vietnam, how Japanese as well as the Chinese influenced the movement which was taking place in Vietnam. Okay, now today we will be talking about a new era, okay, that is a new phase of the communist movement and the Vietnamese nationalism. Okay. Okay, what happened was the final struggle for independence, okay, happened. Okay, it started taking place, the final struggle, okay, in the independence movement in Vietnam, okay, in order to remove the French from the Vietnamese state. Okay, so it was done under the leadership of Ho Chi Minh. Okay, so Ho Chi Minh was the one who, who brought people to fight for the freedom of Vietnam. Okay, so what happened was Vietnam was facing a global crisis because of the Great Depression. We studied about the Great Depression, which happened in 1930, right? It did not affect the Americas, okay? It did not affect USA, but it affected the whole world. When the Great Depression happened, it impacted the whole world. And so what happened? During that time, Vietnam was also facing problem. Okay, the prices of rice production and rubber. Okay, these were the two main agriculture which was done in Vietnam. And so what happened when Great Depression happened? Okay, the prices of rubber as well as rice fell down. Okay, when that happened, large number of people in Vietnam, okay, they became unemployed. And so what happened, they started protesting against the French people because the French were not doing anything, okay, because they were the superiors. Okay, they were the superiors in their land. So what happened, the Vietnamese people started hating them, okay, because of their policies that they had implemented. And so they were fighting against that. Okay, so a lot of revolt took place when these people went unemployed. Okay, and so the French, okay, they were not just gonna leave like that. Okay, so what happened was the French started crushing all the revolt which was taking place, which was started off by the Vietnamese people. Okay, and most of these revolts broke out in the place of Nguyen and Ha Tinh. Okay, so we have seen these two provinces, playing an active role, and the same thing was happening here as well. Okay, so the last resistance, the last fight was gave out under the leadership of Ho Chi Minh. Okay, don't forget that Ho Chi Minh is great personality as of now. Okay, because he was uniting the people to fight against the against the French forces. Okay, so we will be talking about the personality called as Ho Chi Minh, okay, or Ho Chi Minh. Okay, because he played a great role in the movement which happened in Vietnam. Okay, so according to his name, okay, the meaning of his name was he who enlightens. Okay, means according to his name, Ho Chi Minh. Okay, he was considered, the meaning of the name was considered to be an enlightened person. Okay, so what happened was by the 20th century he became one of the most influential person in Vietnam. Okay, he um, traveled. Okay, what happened was he traveled to China and Moscow. Okay, he traveled to these places, to China and Moscow. Okay, and he founded a communist party when he was there in China and Moscow. Okay, when he traveled to China and Moscow, he founded a communist party of the Indo-Chinese in East Asia. Okay, and he also started. Okay, so okay, just wait. Okay, so this was the logo of the Communist Party. Okay, he started the Communist Party, and when he after establishing the Communist Party, what happened was he established a training institute where he taught Vietnamese, okay, where he taught the Vietnamese student, okay, a unique blend of Marxism, Leninism and Confucianism. Okay, so these are uh, thoughts, okay, these are various kind of thoughts. Marxist, he has his own way of thinking. Lenin, okay, you have he has his own way of thinking. So these are thoughts, so these are very high thoughts, okay, so which he imparted to the Vietnamese students. Okay, so what happened was in 1930, okay, in 1930 he lived mostly in China and Moscow. Okay, but what happened when the Second World War broke out? Okay, he was not able to live there for long, and he returned back to Vietnam. Okay, when he returned back to Vietnam, okay, he organized a League of Independence for Vietnam. Okay, League of Independence for Vietnam, it was also known as Viet Minh. Okay, the League of Independence, which was organized by Ho Chi Minh, okay, was also known as Viet Minh. Okay, and he raised a guerrilla army to fight the Japanese. I already told you what guerrilla army is. Okay, they are trained in the jungle, okay, and their tactics of attacking their enemy is through, you know, hiding in the jungles and attacking the people. Okay, so these Vietnamese people, okay, were trained in the guerrilla type of army, okay, in order to fight, okay, the Japanese. Okay, these were introduced in order to fight the Japanese. Okay, so in 1930, okay, what happened was Ho Chi Minh established a Vietnamese Communist Party. Okay, it was called as the Vietnam Cong San Dang. Okay, so Ho Chi Minh introduced a communist party known as Vietnamese Cong San Dang. Okay, and it was later called as the Indo-Chinese Communist Party. Okay, so next, the Second World War and the liberation struggle. How the Second World War also impacted Vietnam, okay, in the removal of the French people from their nation. Okay, so here, okay, the Second World War and the liberation struggle, what happened, we will discuss that. Okay, so what happened was, as we all know, the Japanese army, okay, so the Japanese army, they occupied a large tract of Southeast Asian countries. Okay, especially places really somewhere close to, you know, somewhere close to say Myanmar. India was also captured by the Japanese. Not captured, but they forged into Indian territory. Okay, so we could see that they were capturing most of the places like Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Myanmar. Okay, so they wanted, you know, they wanted their control in most of the Asian countries. Okay, so what happened was the Japanese army, they forced, okay, they forced the French people to let them you know, let them to use Indochina as their base, as their army base. Okay, so what happened was the French could not resist, and yes, half part of Vietnam was given under the control of the Vietnamese. Okay, so what happened following that? Okay, the Americans, they clubbed together with the Chinese army, okay, with the Chinese army, and they wanted to chase the Japanese people who were there in Indochina. Okay, but till 1945, the Japanese, you know, they stayed there in the Indo-Chinese region. Okay, it was only when the areas of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were destroyed by the atom bomb, okay, the Japanese people started retreating from the Indo-Chinese region. Okay, and French people, they regained their colony. Okay, so what happened here was, okay, the Japanese people came and controlled Indochina, took it from the French people. Okay, the Americans as well as the Chinese, they wanted to fight it off. They wanted to the Japanese forces to retreat themselves from Indochina. Okay, but what happened was they did not go, and it was only in 1945 when the atomic bomb, okay, was dropped down in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The Japanese began to retreat from Indochina. Okay, when that happened, okay, the French people regained their colony again. Okay, so during that war, okay, during the war, the Vietnamese nationalists, okay, so that is the Viet Minh, okay, had to fight both the French as well as the Japanese forces, because the Japanese were also occupying Indochina. The French people already had control over Indochina. So the the Independence League, or the Vietnamese nationalists, they had to fight both the party. Okay, the Viet Minh, or the League of Independence, fought the Japanese occupation. Okay, and they were able to capture the province of Hanoi. Okay, so the nationalists, okay, the people who were fighting for the freedom of Vietnam, okay, they had to fight both the French as well as the Japanese forces. But the Viet Minh, the League of Independence, which was started off by Ho Chi Minh, okay, they were able to capture the area of Hanoi, okay, in September 1945. Next topic is war with France. Okay, so the war which the Vietnamese people had to fight with the French people. Okay, so after the Second World War, okay, what happened was the French had to face, okay, Viet Minh. Okay, that was a group which was organized by Ho Chi Minh. Okay, under the leadership of Ho Chi Minh. Okay, so what happened was the French, okay, had to face the person Ho Chi Minh, okay, and the group Viet Minh, which was created by Ho Chi Minh. Okay, Ho Chi Minh was educated in French. Okay, so he was a student of the French education. Okay, so what happened was he had to, okay, fight against the French people. Okay, Ho Chi Minh was supported by the Americans, no doubt. Okay, Ho Chi Minh was supported by the Americans in order to fight the Japanese forces, okay, during the World War. Okay, secondly, what happened was Viet Minh, okay, which was the group which was made by Ho Chi Minh, okay, was inspired, okay, the group Viet Minh was inspired by the Japanese forces. No doubt they were trying to drive away the Japanese people from Indochina. But what happened was this group was really inspired by the Japanese forces, because the magnitude of the Japanese forces in expanding their territory in Asia was very large, okay, and they wanted to dominate the world. Okay, and so what happened? Okay, the Viet Minh, okay, the group which was organized by Ho Chi Minh, okay, they were really impressed by the Japanese forces. Okay, so their leader Ho Chi Minh, he started a national movement to liberate the area which was held by the French people. Okay, and he was successful. Okay, in 1945 he was able to topple. Okay, Annan was under the control of the French people. Okay, and there, okay, as a person was looking after Annan, which was known as Bao Dai. Okay, Bao Dai was working under the French people. He was like a puppet. Okay, in India, kings were like the puppet of the British. Likewise, Bao Dai was a ruler in Annan. Okay, was the person who was controlling Annan, but he was a puppet of the French people. He take orders, he will take decisions which were made by the French people. So what happened was in 1945 Ho Chi Minh was successful in toppling, in breaking this puppet government which was there in Annan. Okay, and in September 1945, okay, what happened was Ho Chi Minh proclaimed an independent republic. Okay, so in 1945, okay, Ho Chi Minh finally declared, okay, Vietnam as an independent republic of Vietnam. Okay, so we see that once it has been toppled, okay, the rule of Bao Dai under the French government was being toppled over by Ho Chi Minh's Viet Minh group. Okay, what happened was Ho Chi Minh declared Vietnam to be an independent republic in September 1945. So when he declared Vietnam to be an independent republic, what happened was, okay, he decided that Vietnam, okay, would be there, okay, the defined territory, the independent territory would come under the French Union. Okay, no doubt French had occupied Vietnam. Okay, so they didn't leave till that time. Okay, so what happened was he declared an independent republic. Okay, but this republic which he created was to be under the French Union. Okay, so what happened was, like India got independent, but the British were still there. Okay, in the British Union. Okay, had to assist and look after the Indians for a certain period of time. Likewise, the same thing happened here as well. Okay, however, soon differences began to emerge between the French and the forces of the Vietnamese. Okay, and so long battles took place Vietnam. Okay, sorry. So long decisive battle started off, okay, but the Viet Minh won the decisive victory in a place called as Dien Bien Phu, okay, in 1954. Okay, so this mark, this battle and the winning of the battle created a huge victory on the sides of the Vietnamese people. Okay, after which conference was held, okay, that was known as the Geneva Conference, okay, in order to settle the dispute between the French people and the people of Vietnam. Okay, so this was a turning point for the Vietnamese people. Okay, according to the Geneva Conference, okay, which was held in 1954, okay, the first point was it decided, okay, it divided Vietnam into 17 parallel. Okay, so you can see the line which is demarcated in the slide, that is the 17 parallel. Okay, it divides North Vietnam and South Vietnam. Okay, Vietnam has been divided into North and South Vietnam with the 17 parallel. Okay, and in the north side, okay, the Independent Republic of North, the first president was Ho Chi Minh, and in the south it was still under the government of Bao Dai. Okay, so we can see that with the Geneva Conference they signed an accord. Okay, they signed an agreement according to which Vietnam was divided into North and South Vietnam. Okay, North came under the presidentship of Ho Chi Minh. Okay, whereas the South came under the control of Bao Dai. Okay, number two is the sign. Okay, when they sign, okay, the agreement, when they signed the agreement, okay, when they signed the agreement in the Geneva Conference, okay, it was decided that, okay, they would go for an election. Okay, an election was to be held in 1956. Okay, the main purpose of the election was to unite North and South Vietnam. Okay, so the Geneva Conference tried to unite as well. Okay, so the third point, okay, what happened was the French people, okay, what happened was they set up an independent monarchy. Okay, they could no longer stay in Vietnam. Okay, so they set up an independent monarchy in Cambodia. Okay, in Cambodia and Laos. Okay, so in the picture we can see that Laos and Cambodia came under the monarchy of the French people, under the rule of the French people. Okay, so the Geneva Conference, okay, led to an end in the French domination, okay, in the territory of Indo-Chinese Peninsula. Okay, so the event ended in 1954, okay, which formally ended the colonial rule in Indo-Chinese region. But after this, okay, the USA started taking interest in South Vietnam. Okay, they started involving in the affairs of South Vietnam, which led to the Vietnam War, which is one of the greatest war which was fought against the Americans and the Vietnamese people. Okay, in South Vietnam, because of the involvement of the Americans there. After that, what happened was, because of the division created by the 17th parallel, okay, so it created a lot of problem for the people living in the south, okay, and Baudai government was overthrown by another person, okay. His name was now Dim. Okay, so Dim was a dictator. Okay, he was a dictator, and he he imprisoned or killed anyone who opposed him. Okay, anyone who went against now Dim. Okay, what happened was he would just imprison them or he would kill them. Okay, and he also take those people who went against them as communists. Okay, and he also used the French law of okay, which banned Buddhism as well as Christianity. Okay, so what happened was his dictatorial rule was opposed by National Liberation Front. Okay, so we can see that Bao Dai could no longer, control the southern states because of the division which happened in the country. Okay, and so what happened was, now Dim, who was a dictator, came into power. Okay, so because of the loose knit connection, what happened, the US was also able to interfere into the affairs of the southern states, which led to the Vietnam War. Okay, so what happened was, now Dim, if anyone who opposed him, he called them as communists. Okay, and he tried to kill them or he imprisoned them. Okay, and he also banned Buddhism and Christianity in his land. Okay, and his dictatorial rule was opposed by many, especially the National Liberation Front as well. Okay, so next we will be dealing with the Ho Chi Minh trial and the end of war in our next class. Okay, so thank you and have a nice day.